You go through Night City knowing a stray bullet could end you while hailing a cab. But that's never stopped you from taking action. If you gotta kill, kill. Thing of beauty, I know, will never fade away. Why should it suit me? I know. Said what you had to say, but a thing of beauty, I know, will never fade away. Why should it suit me?
In the sprawling megalopolis of Night City, where neon dreams flicker against a backdrop of corporate tyranny, we find ourselves immersed in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, a game that I have quite strong opinions about. The game, released in 2020 and developed by CD Projekt Red, a forerunner of what good games can be, a la The Witcher 3, plunges players into a future where the line between humans and machines blur, and the very essence of identity becomes a commodity. But beneath the chrome and circuitry lies a deeper narrative, one that speaks to the fleeting nature of life. Today, we're exploring the concept of ephemerality in Cyberpunk 2077, and how it permeates the game's narrative and world building. Ephemerality, the state of being transitory, fleeting, or short-lived. It's a concept that feels almost at odds with the permeance we often associate with digital media. Yet, as we'll discover, it's a theme that resonates powerfully throughout Cyberpunk 2077. In this video essay, we'll dive deep into Night City's neon-soaked streets, exploring how ephemerality manifests in the game's narrative. We'll examine how Cyberpunk 2077 not only tells a story about impermanence, but embodies it in ways both intentional and unexpected. Obviously spoilers for both base game Cyberpunk and the DLC. But first, if you do enjoy the video at any point, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want further updates on me and my videos, I have both a Twitter and a Patreon that will be in the description. But without further ado, join me as we jack into this neural network of ideas where the only constant is change, and even our memories can't be trusted to last. Welcome to Cyberpunk 2077, a digital dream that, like all dreams, is destined to fade with the coming dawn. Central to the game's plot is the relationship between V, our protagonist, and Johnny Silverhand, a digital construct of a long-dead rockaboy terrorist. This dynamic immediately introduces us to the impermanence of memory and identity. Johnny exists as an engram, a digital copy of his consciousness. But is he truly Johnny Silverhand, or merely an echo? His memories are fragmented, incomplete, raising questions about the nature of identity when divorced from continuous lived experience. For example, his entire recollection of how his death occurred, being wounded and then taken to Saburo Arasaka, is divorced nearly entirely from the account of events found in the Cyberpunk tabletop RPG book, in which he is gunned down by Smasher, and it's only through the actions of Spider Murphy that he got engramified. V, on the other hand, finds their own memories and sense of self under threat as Johnny's engram begins to overwrite their mind, with Silverhand peeking through the cracks, both through how V can start to adopt his mannerisms, primarily his smoking habit, but also through when Johnny literally takes over your body, albeit mostly consensual. This erosion of self still serves as a poignant reminder of how fragile our identities truly are. The game's brain dance technology further emphasizes this theme. By allowing users to experience recorded memories and sensations of others, it blurs the line between lived experience and artificial memory. In a world where memories can be bought, sold, and altered, what does it mean for our sense of self and the permeance of our experiences? Being able to experience anything from the mundane to the depraved commodifies our very experiences to the mere realm of entertainment, nothing more than another aspect that the corporations of Night City can further infiltrate. In the fast-paced, danger-filled streets of Night City, relationships are often as fleeting as they are intense. V forms connections with a diverse cast of characters, from street kids to corporate moguls, each relationship underscoring the temporary nature of human connection in this dystopian future. Take Jackie Wells, for instance. His storyline serves as a harsh reminder of the fragility of life and relationships in Night City. The abrupt end to his and V's partnership echoes the game's broader themes. In a world of constant danger and shifting allegiances, no connection is truly permanent. And it also showcases the fact that the average lifespan for those seeking Night City fame is one that burns bright but goes dim just as fast. To become a Night City legend, you must be prepared to become ultimately a footnote in a long history of people who sacrificed longevity for immortality through memory. In a world where memories seem to be nothing but a commodity or something that you cannot trust, being entombed in the collective unconsciousness, such as Johnny or David through drinks in the afterlife, serve as one of the only reliable methods to not be subject to the entropy of identity that seems to permeate Night City at a fundamental level, which Jackie can achieve, being memorialized the same way through a drink in the afterlife. He may be a footnote, but he will be remembered. Even V's romantic relationships, should the player choose to pursue them, are tinged with a sense of impermanence. No matter if you chase Judy or Panam or even River, these relationships are doomed to end, no matter what happens. V's ephemeral nature serving as a block for any meaningful relationships to be formed properly with any longevity, the ever-present reminder of death hanging over the relationship like a guillotine. This is only proved in essentially all endings, whether you become Night City legend, Arasaka Pawn, or NUSA victim. All love interests have either moved on or have gone down a darker path in your absence. Judy moves and gets married in the Tower ending, for example. The only ending offering even a remote chance for continued relationship is Going with the Nomads, but even that offers only temporary relief, the sort of Damocles that is V's limited lifespan hanging over them the entire time. Perhaps the most visible manifestation of ephemerality in Cyberpunk 2077 is the treatment of the human body as a customizable, upgradable piece of hardware. In Night City, the physical form is no longer a constant, but a malleable canvas for technological augmentation, being able to sculpt and change your form into something pleasing to yourself or others. Cyberware modifications allow characters to replace limbs, organs, and even parts of their brain with synthetic alternatives. This commodification of the body reduces it to something transient, a temporary shell to be modified or discarded as needed, changed at a mere whim. The human form in the world of Cyberpunk serves more as a blank canvas rather than something that you are stuck with forever, once more mirroring this idea of ephemerality. However, this game also explores the dark side of this physical impermanence through the concept of cyberpsychosis. When individuals lose touch with their humanity due to excessive cybernetic modification, losing themselves to their technology, their very sense of self corroded and eroded over time by the excessive modification until eventually they snap, losing all sense of reason and humanity and devolving into nothing but seemingly mindless killing machines. Whilst it may seem that some hope is present, mainly through Regina and her preference for taking them alive so they can be rehabilitated, it still highlights the inherent danger of treating your own body as a mere canvas for your desires. Underlying all of these narrative elements is V's central conflict, the race against time to prevent Johnny's engram from completely overriding their psyche. The ever-present countdown infuses every moment of the game with a sense of urgency and impermanence. V's quest is ultimately about defying ephemerality, trying to cling to life, to identity, to relationships, in a world that seems designed to strip these things away. The various endings of the game each grapple with this theme in different ways, forcing players to confront the inevitability of change and loss. Do you cling to the relationships that you have made, using them as a bulwark against the inevitable, and going into battle with the world's largest corporation alongside them to chase some faint idea of a cure that doesn't really exist? Or do you instead forfeit your body to Johnny, allowing him to do the same thing but with those of his past, once more clinging on to hope for dear life? Or do you instead go alone, with nothing but yourself and your skills, and storm Arasaka, either reaching Night City immortality through this impossibly reckless decision, achieving your goal and finding this cure, or dying and becoming another statistic in Night City's long casualty list? Ultimately, the decision is yours, but each ending further highlights this idea of ephemerality. No matter what you do, whether you successfully extend V's life a mere few months or give your body up to Johnny, V's time cannot be meaningfully extended. Your time in the sun will come to an end. It's just a matter of time.
You're up against seasoned players, so go out and play. Just don't get played.
The Phantom Liberty expansion takes the theme of ephemerality to new heights, introducing elements that further emphasize the transient nature of identity, loyalty, and truth in Night City. Primarily, in my opinion, through the character of Songbird and her relationships with both V, Reed, and the NUSA as a whole. Central to Phantom Liberty's narrative is the concept of shifting loyalties. The player is thrust into a world of espionage where nothing is as it seems, and no one can be fully trusted. This is embodied in characters like Solomon Reed, an FIA agent whose true motives remain elusive throughout the story, and Songbird, an FIA netrunner who contacts you with promises of being able to cure the engram. You just need to save the president in Dogtown, a region run with an iron fist by the forces of Barghest. The very title, Phantom Liberty, speaks to the ephemeral nature of freedom and allegiance in this world. As V navigates the complex web of lies and double crosses, they, and the player, are constantly reminded that in Night City, loyalty is as fleeting as the neon lights that illuminate its streets. Phantom Liberty expands on the base game's exploration of choice and consequence, presenting players with decisions that seem momentous but often reveal themselves to be illusory. This mirrors the transient nature of agency in a world controlled by corporations and hidden agendas, with the only true decision that matters being whether to betray Songbird or not, whether to bend to the uncompromising and seemingly unbeatable NUSA and crush the trust that Somi holds in you, or to hold true to this trust, to this fleeting relationship, and hope that together you can enact something meaningful. The expansion's multiple endings further emphasize this theme, showing how even seemingly significant choices can be rendered moot by forces beyond our control. Where, in all the endings, Solomon Reed either remains a pawn for the new United States of America, or is dead. He is so entrenched in his own beliefs and sense of duty that he is unable to move on, even after the state betrayed him. It's a stark reminder of the ephemeral nature of individual will in the face of systemic power. Perhaps the most poignant exploration of ephemerality in Phantom Liberty comes from the character of Songbird. Her story, one of a mind repeatedly wiped and reprogrammed, serves as a chilling metaphor for the fragility of identity and memory, in an attempt to make her into an almost metaphorical technological ICBM, capable of channeling the destructive AI that resides beyond the Black Wall, twisting both her and the Black Wall into a mere weapon for the NUSA to wield for international influence and power, her memories and very identity swept away in the interest of national security. Songbird's predicament takes the themes introduced with Johnny Silverhand's engram to their logical extreme. If our memories and experiences can be so easily erased or altered, what does that mean for the permanence of self? Her narrative arc forces both V and the player to confront uncomfortable questions about the nature of identity in a world where even our minds are not our own. This is taken to the extreme in the ending, in which you choose to send her to the moon, so she can be free from the influence of the NUSA. After fighting through waves and waves of special forces, causing a diplomatic incident in the process, and helping to channel the very Blackwall's AI to win a seemingly unwinnable situation, it is revealed that Somi can only cure herself of the affliction that plagues her, that is waiting for her on the moon. The very reason that you even went to Dogtown, a promise of a cure, stripped away from you in the final moments. The ephemeral nature of Night City loyalty once again striking V. You can now choose whether to hold true to Somi despite her deception, killing Reed to send her to the moon, far away from the corrupting clutches of the Americans, or to hand her over, ignoring the immense suffering that she has been through already, prioritizing the vague promise of a cure, of focusing on the self, an already fleeting idea, instead of helping her. Both choices are inherently valid, but I killed Reed and sent her on her way. Reed was far too entrenched in his beliefs to ever meaningfully change, and I wasn't going to send Songbird back to a life of twisting identity and torture just for a vague chance at life. As I sat in the terminal and watched the rocket holding her take off, the soundtrack playing in the background, I knew I had made the right choice. But this idea of fleeting permanence is also showcased in the alternate ending, in which you betray Songbird and side with Reed, relegating yourself to another cog in the NUSA machine, as she gives into the Blackwall AIs that corrupt both her mind and seemingly her very soul, becoming the very type of monster that she was meant to become, but instead focusing her wrath on us instead of the enemies of the state. This ending sees us battle through a corrupted Blackwall research facility, having to hide and run from a corrupted war machine piloted entirely by these malicious entities, further showcasing the ephemerality of not only Somi's life, as these AIs will eventually claim her, but also that the player is not immortal, that this is just a force that is too overwhelming to be taken head on, a stark departure from the rest of the game where you feel like a powerhouse sweeping through the weak. perhaps a commentary on the trade-off for power that comes from a severely reduced lifespan, or it could just be a gameplay mechanic. After you sneak through and eventually destroy the Chimera and reach Somi, you are left with a choice, one that stands as the most poignant of the DLC. Do you kill Somi, freeing her from the torture that awaits at the hands of the NUSA, throwing away your chance at a cure? Or do you instead hand her over, shattering any remaining loyalty to her just for a chance at life? Like the previous ending, both choices are inherently valid, and both offer unique perspectives on ephemerality, one of the fleetingness of life and one of loyalty, and ultimately, the choice is yours. Through these elements, Phantom Liberty doesn't just continue Cyberpunk 2077's exploration of ephemerality, it elevates it. The expansion takes the themes of transient identity, fleeting loyalty, and elusive truth to new heights, creating a narrative experience that leaves players questioning the permanence of everything they encounter in Night City and beyond.
Hope so.
Oh, V, do you still have that pendant I gave you?
Huh. I must have misplaced it.
Don't go looking.
In Cyberpunk 2077's universe, nothing is truly permanent. Memories fade, relationships crumble, and even our bodies are subject to constant change. Through V's journey, we're confronted with the transient nature of existence in a world where technological progress has only magnified the ephemerality of the human experience. Night City, the sprawling behemoth at the heart of Cyberpunk 2077, is more than just a backdrop for V's story. It's a character in its own right, one that embodies the concept of ephemerality in its very foundations. Let's explore in depth how the game's world building reinforces this theme of transience and impermanence. As we've explored throughout this video essay, Cyberpunk 2077 presents a vivid and immersive examination of ephemerality. Through its narrative, characters, and the meticulously crafted world of Night City, the game invites us to confront the transient nature of existence in a hyper-technological future. At the heart of Cyberpunk 2077's story, we find V and Johnny Silverhand, two consciousnesses inhabiting one body, each fighting for dominance and survival. Their struggle embodies the game's central theme, the fragility of identity and memory in a world where the very essence of self can be digitized, copied, and overwritten. The Phantom Liberty expansion further amplifies this theme, with characters like Songbird, whose repeatedly wiped and reprogrammed mind serves as a chilling metaphor for the impermanence of identity. Night City stands as a monument to impermanence. Its streets pulse with a disposable culture where everything, from the latest tech to personal relationships, are treated as temporary and replaceable. The city's power dynamics in constant flux, with corporation, gangs, and individuals locked in an endless struggle for control. This volatile landscape serves as a stark reminder that in Cyberpunk 2077's world, nothing, not even the mightiest megacorporation, is truly permanent. The rapid pace of technological change in Night City further underscores the theme of ephemerality. As cyberware and neural implants push the boundaries of what it means to be human, we're forced to question the permanence of our own nature. The game presents a world where even the human body becomes a transient, upgradable shell, blurring the lines between flesh and machine. Even the digital realm in Cyberpunk 2077 is not immune to the all-encompassing impermanence. Cyberspace is portrayed as a fluid, ever-changing landscape where data and the truth it represents can be created, altered, or erased in an instant. This digital ephemerality serves as a powerful metaphor for the elusive nature of reality in a world saturated with technology. Through its immersive gameplay and storytelling, Cyberpunk 2077 doesn't just tell us about a world defined by transience, it allows us to experience it firsthand. Every choice we make as V, every modification to our character, every shifting alliance, reinforces the idea that in Night City, change is the only constant. As we navigate this neon-lit labyrinth of impermanence, Cyberpunk 2077 challenges us to consider, in a world where everything is fleeting, what truly endures? Is it our memories, even when they can be fabricated or erased? Is it our relationships forged in the chaos of Night City? Or is it the impact we leave on the world, however temporary it might be? Ultimately, Cyberpunk 2077 is more than just a game about a dystopian future. It's a profound exploration of ephemerality that resonates beyond its fictional boundaries. As we log off from Night City and return to our own rapidly changing world, we're left to ponder these questions in our own lives. In an age of accelerating technological advancement and digital immersion, the themes of Cyberpunk 2077 strike closer to home than we might like to admit. The game leaves us with a powerful message. In a world where everything is ephemeral, it's our choices and the connections we forge that define us. Even in the face of overwhelming transience, the search for meaning and the struggle for identity persist. And perhaps in that struggle, we find something lasting after all. In Night City, where everything seems fleeting, where memories can be ridden and identities overridden, there's a defiant cry that echoes through the neon-lit streets and towering megastructures. It's a reminder etched into the very soul of Cyberpunk 2077, a mantra for both its characters and its players. Never fade away. And that was that. I know this video was meant to be Fear and Hunger, but that one's going to take a while, and I, didn't want to leave you with nothing for ages, so I made this shorter video, a bit different in how I wrote it. I tried out a new style. Let me know if you liked it. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But yeah, if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe, obviously. Obviously, Twitter and Patreon down below if you want to have a look. You don't have to. It's up to you. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming. And I guess I'll see you all on the next one.